Hey, maybe you've been feeling like there's a fire in your chest, a heat that won't let you rest, like something inside of you is calling louder and louder every day, like you're carrying lightning just under your ribs, the sense that you're here for something bigger. But no matter how strong it burns, you still don't know what to do with it. In this video, I'm breaking down why the ancient story of Esther isn't just history. It's a mirror, a map, and a mission for you. When this clicked for me, it stopped being a myth and started feeling like a calling to rise, to speak, to lead. Now, your mission might not look like mine. It might not be a YouTube channel or a spotlight or a movement with a name. But if you feel that fire, the story still applies. So stick around. Esther was an unlikely candidate for queen. She wasn't born into royalty. She wasn't chosen from a lineup of noble blood. She was chosen from among the people. She was an everyday woman called to an extraordinary moment. She probably doubted herself, questioning her role, wondering why it had to be her. And that's exactly what makes her story so powerful. Because if she could rise from the background and shift the fate of a kingdom, so can you. She didn't feel ready. She didn't want to be seen. But when the kingdom was on the line, hiding wasn't an option anymore. The same is true for you. This isn't about religion. This is about remembrance, the bone deep kind, like a dream that you forgot the moment that you woke up, but that's been tugging at you ever since. The kind that hits you when a truth lands in your chest and your whole body says, yes, this is it. Esther is the part of you that holds the truth, the part that knows it's time. Before we dive deeper, I want to invite you to like and subscribe to this channel because this isn't just another content rabbit hole. This is where we remember what we're really here for, where we decode what's going on in the world and within ourselves, navigating awakening and rising into mission. Here, we're not waiting for saviors. We're becoming them. And if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, hit like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Are you ready to rise? Some people see the story of Esther as historical fact. Others view it as an ancient myth. But for those of us waking up in this lifetime, there might just be another way to see it, as a mirror. Not just a story about a woman's rise to power, but as a story for the part of you that's been quiet for too long. Esther wasn't born into royalty. She wasn't chosen for her status. She came from the people, chosen not because she was perfect, but because she was coded and positioned as the one her people needed at that specific time. And what makes this story powerful isn't that it happened, it's that it's happening again in each of us. Let's break down the cast, psychologically, spiritually, and personally. I want you to imagine each character is parts of you. Queen Esther, the feminine, represents your soul, the deepest part of you that carries wisdom even when the mind doubts it. She's the sacred pulse beneath the surface, the part that senses timing, truth, and alignment before logic can catch up. She's the part of you that wakes up at 3 a.m. with knowing, the one that hears the whispers of purpose when the world is so loud, the soft voice that says, you were made for more, even when fear tries to drown it out. The king is your conscious mind. He is the one who rules over the realm of thought, action, and choice. He decides what gets your attention and what gets silenced. When he's aligned, he listens to Esther, the soul, and acts with discernment, clarity, and protection of truth. But when he's influenced by Haman, the ego, he becomes reactive, disconnected, and afraid to make the wrong move. He is not inherently wise. He becomes wise through who he listens to. And Haman? Haman is the ego. Not just the everyday functional ego, and certainly not the reconstructed ego that comes after ego death and rebirth, but the distorted, survival-based version of it. The one obsessed with maintaining the status quo, the part of you that confuses safety with sameness, that clings to the familiar even when it's no longer serving you. We all have an inner Haman who tries to sabotage us in the name of safety. Some are just louder and more disruptive than others. Haman sees change as a threat to the kingdom that he's trying to preserve, not because he's evil, but because he's scared. He's terrified of losing power, terrified of being replaced, terrified that if the old way crumbles, he'll crumble with it. And this is exactly what the ego does. It prioritizes preservation over evolution, not because it hates you, but because it doesn't trust what happens if it lets go. And like the Haman in the story, your ego will do whatever it takes to protect its illusion of control. It whispers in the background, manipulating your focus, keeping you locked in old stories, fixed in old identities, and outdated loyalties. It shows up like tension in your chest, like racing thoughts before you speak up in truth, like the tight grip of overthinking that won't let you move forward. He doesn't want to destroy you. He wants to preserve himself, even if it means taking the whole kingdom down with him. And that's the trap, because when the ego protects power instead of truth, it always leads to collapse. But here's the part that we can't miss. Esther doesn't slay Haman with a sword. She doesn't exile him on her own. She appeals to the king. She reveals what's hidden. And this is the power of the soul when it chooses to speak. It doesn't argue with the ego. It exposes it. It brings its hidden strategies into the light where discernment can decide. You are all three. You're Esther, hearing the truth. You're the king, holding the authority. You're Haman, afraid of what will be lost. But the soul, Esther, doesn't come in screaming. She comes in with timing, presence, with clarity. She doesn't bypass the fear. She moves through it. And when your inner king finally listens to that voice, the tide turns, not just in you, but through you, for everyone that your life will touch. Because this isn't just about inner harmony. It's about what happens when all three align. This is the moment that we begin to rule from truth instead of trauma, from vision instead of fear, from sovereignty instead of survival. So why does this matter now, and how does it apply to you and the greater picture? This isn't just a nice metaphor. This is a spiritual map for right now. We're in a planetary turning point. Some call it the Age of Aquarius. Others recognize it as the transition from the Kali Yuga, the Hindu term for the Dark Age, into Dvarpa Yuga, the beginning of the light. And if you'd like to know why I believe that when there's debate on this subject, I'll link to a video that I shared on that subject in the description below. For the last few thousand years, we've been swimming in murky waters. The Piscean Age, ruled in part by Neptune, has been full of illusion, hierarchy, and blind faith. But now the veil is lifting, and the shadow that's been ruling from the background is surfacing everywhere. The systems collapsing around us, the fear, the division, the power grabs, they are the outer reflection of the Haman within. And just like Esther, each of us is being called to make a choice. Speak or stay silent, rise or retreat, reveal or remain ruled by fear and illusion, cloaked as safety. Maybe your mission isn't political. Maybe it isn't public. Maybe your kingdom is your family, your energy, your truth. But don't let the quietness of your role fool you. The entire future depends on people like you saying yes to the fire within. You don't need a perfect track record. You don't need permission. You just need the courage to say, if not now, when? If not me, whom? And if Esther's story has survived thousands of years, maybe it's because it was never just about her. Maybe it was waiting for you. So if you've been asking for a sign, let this be it. Join me in the fire. The link is below. That's where the real work begins. And if you're ready to go deep now and come out ready to stand like Esther, there are 2 ways that we can walk together. Links to both of those are in the description below. Hit like, comment if you're one of us, and subscribe for the next transmission. And if you liked this video, I'm linking another one that's related to it that you might like as well. And I'll see you in the next one.